No, Apple should not make a social network. All right, that video didn't take long to make at all. I'm done here. All right, okay, have a nice day. No. There's much more to it than that. It's not a common question, but I figure we're talking about the iPhone edition every day now. Might as well give it a break. Lots of people have mentioned, in the past anyways, that Apple should develop their own social network. There's a couple good reasons they could do this, because they have iMessage, right? And Apple Music, and the incorporation of Apple Maps. You think they'd have the potential framework for something pretty cool. The texting feature could be completely through iMessage. You could have like an always-on feature where people know what you're listening to music-wise, what artists people like, what music they like to listen to at different parts of the day, or similar to what Snapchat just announced, you could know where your friends are by looking in Apple Maps, having their face all over the map to see where your friends are hanging out at the moment, if you like to be creepy like that. Doesn't that seem like something Apple should do? They could break into this field. Google, of course, owns YouTube and Google+, so Google has a social network. Wouldn't it be cool if Apple could parallel that? Well, over the years, the one thing I have noticed about social networks is that no company can ever anticipate the success of it. The most successful social networks are all kind of ones that happened on accident. Facebook, of course, was Mark Zuckerberg in college making something for college students. YouTube originally was not owned by Google, it was just a video sharing website. It was very small. Snapchat is a similar story, and I'm sure that all the other social media sites out there all were just kind of basic startups that people started falling into, and that's what they make it today. I have noticed that no really giant company like Apple, Google, or Microsoft, or Amazon can really just decide that there's going to be a new social media network and then have everyone use it. The masses of human beings are very bizarre and weird, and I've noticed that it's almost a game of chance. Facebook tried many times to start their own social media site, kind of like Slingshot. You know, they couldn't buy Snapchat, so they decided to go directly into competition with it. So they were gonna make a separate app that was essentially a Snapchat clone. You'd think Facebook, with all their money and all their power, could get people to use that, but no one really cared. Absolutely no one installed it, no one started using Slingshot, and the only way they can compete with Snapchat now is to integrate Snapchat-like features into their own sites, like Instagram and Messenger. Those are things people are already using. They can't get people to leave that app and install something brand new. So what social media sites succeed are very, very random and hard to predict. We also know that Apple has kind of tried to do social media in the past with iTunes Ping and MobileMe, and both of those really failed. And when Apple Music came out, they tried to do Connect, which was kind of like a Twitter version of Apple Music, but again, no one's really using that. And in fact, they don't really care about it that much because they're kind of making it hard to access in Apple Music. So Connect didn't really work out either. A cornerstone of Apple's history has always been about music, so you'd think they could incorporate that into a social media site somehow, but it seems like it never really works. Another prime example of a company trying to make a social media site that is popular is Google with Google+. Obviously, lots of people loved YouTube, so when they bought them, they said, great, now we can route people to our own social media site. So they partnered Google+ with YouTube, and we are still facing the consequences of that decision today. There's a couple people on Google+, but for the most part, it is a complete barren wasteland. I tried to use it. You know, I tried to be fair. I downloaded the app. I tried to look into how the circles and communities work. It's just not good. I've really tried with it, and I can't figure it out. Like, I get what they're going for, but there's not a lot of people there, and it just doesn't make sense to have Google+ when we already have things like Facebook and Twitter. However, all of our YouTube accounts are linked directly to Google+, so we all have to go there. And when Google reports what kind of active user bases they got, they get to say that there's hundreds of millions of active Google+ users because we all have to go there occasionally to edit our YouTube settings. Like my profile picture, I cannot change this on YouTube without going to Google+. If I want to add managers so that other people can upload to my channel, or at least manage my other YouTube channels, I have to go through Google+. They don't want to build all these things into YouTube. They link YouTube and Google+ so hard, as almost like they're the same site, except everyone wants one site and no one wants the other. That's why I'd be really afraid of Apple trying to like embed a social media site within the Apple Music app. Try to encourage all of its users that it must post to this site as well. Or when you're listening to music, hey, would you like to share to your friends what you're listening to? No, Apple, they're not interested in that. My friends don't like the same kind of music I like. Personally, I think music taste is very individualistic. But again, social media sites are similar to like memes. You don't know what the next big meme is gonna be. What's the next big trend? What's the next big meme category? It's impossible to predict that. We could never teach a computer to say, this is what everyone will be memeing about in 2 years' time. It is completely random. It's just one thing that'll pick up traction and snowball, and then that becomes the next big meme, or in this case, the next big social media site. I don't know what the next one is. It seems like Snapchat is the big popular one right now, but over time, that'll become the mainstream, and then a new site will appear, and people will start moving to that. But whatever that site is, we can't predict it. Like them good memes. They come, and they're glorious, and they're really cool, but we cannot anticipate them ahead of time. This is your Apple Sheep here, and I will see you in the next one.